Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your Tuesday morning for Miracle Flow. I'm Tommy, going to be walking through your practice this morning. Rain on the way, so we've moved it indoors. I think we'll bring it indoors here for at least January as well. So we'll see where we're at for next week, but definitely January, so we don't have to freeze our toes off out there every week. For the practice this morning, we're just going to work through and focus on the core. When people think of core, they typically think of torturing their abdominal muscles. We're going to do a little bit of that today, but also working that 360 core. So the sides of the ribs, those obliques, that lumbar spine, strengthening those muscles of the low back, and working on that entire tree trunk for support, and work through some standing and balancing postures as well for the core. So we're going to begin on our backs this morning. Get onto your back. You can start in just a regular Shavasana position. You can also have the knees bent, feet out to the edges of the mat, and just let the knees fall in towards each other. It's a nice little release on the low back. Wherever you are, just begin to find some stillness, just beginning to settle in. And as always, we begin with connecting to that breath, internal guide. As you begin to draw that inhale in through the nose, begin to draw your awareness into the moment and into the body. Begin to soften the tissues of the lungs and the ribs, the heart space, as you begin to let that breath grow in the chest and belly. On that exhale, just begin to soften, surrender, and let your body just land in this shape, beginning to find some stillness and ease. And just continue to connect with the rhythm of breath flow. So lengthening out that inhale, lengthening out the exhale, not forcing anything. And just beginning to explore that internal landscape in the body. Just scanning the body, gently letting go of any tension you might be holding on to in the face, the throat. Soften the crease of the brow. And as that rhythm of breath grows and increases, as you begin to find a little bit more stillness in the body, just let that busy mind begin to quiet down, letting go of any sense of self, ego. And as that ego begins to hopefully dissolve a little bit, just letting go of any expectations of judgment for the practice this morning. Less being in that act of doing and just more in the act of being this morning. A few more full cycles of breath. Exploring that breath throughout the sides of the ribs, drawing that breath into the back, feeling your chest lift and rise. On that exhale, just letting the bones feel heavy against the mat. Feel that connection with the back of the shoulders, the tail, and feel the earth supporting you, holding you up here. Stay with that connected breath this morning. Listen to your body, make it your own practice as I guide. Please modify as needed, use of props, resting when you need to. You are the guru. I am just here to guide you along. All right, let's do another full cycle of breath. So exhale everything out, a gentle squeeze of those lower ribs down and in on that exhale. And then a nice full inhale in through the nose. And exhale, let it all go. All right, we're going to begin that core work right away. So if the knees are not bent, go ahead and bend the knees, bring the heels in a little closer to the glutes. We're going to inhale, we're going to take those arms up overhead, fingertips reaching out behind you. What's going to happen are those ribs are sort of going to want to pop up like a car hood. So start to clamshell and close down through the lower ribs. engaging the belly, but letting that breath move freely. Take a few breaths here and just exploring that rhythm of breath while that belly's engaged, reaching fingertips back. You can float those fingertips off the earth just a little bit. And then let's extend out through the left heel. That'll turn up those lower abdominals a little bit more. You can float that heel up an inch or two, maybe pulsing, breathing, finding length in the body. A few more times here. Keep that rhythm of breath strong. And when you're ready, bring that heel back in. We'll extend out to the right heel, same thing. So toes are pointed up, heel pressing out. Lower ribs squeeze gently down and in. Big breath in and exhale, just beginning to pulse a few inches off the ground. Do a few more breaths here. And we'll go ahead and bring that back in the center. If you have a block handy, go ahead and grab that. We're going to place that right in between the thighs, drawing those heels back in towards the glutes. Working through some bridge poses here, just focused on the belly and pulling that belly button towards the back of the spine. Lift the hips up, draw the belly button in, lower ribs down and in, squeezing those thighs together, engaging the lower abdominals. Take a few breaths here. Just getting warmed up. And release, hips down. Pause, remove the block for a minute. Just let the belly go soft. I'm going to do that one more time. Block back in between the thighs. Press into those heels. Pull the hips up. Fire up the belly if you'd like. Maybe add the arms, lifting up, reaching back. Deep breath in. On the exhale, hips come down, hands come back. Let's do that a few more times. So just working with the breath, inhaling, hips come up, fingertips back if it's okay. Exhale, let them come down. Inhale, lift, squeeze those thighs. Exhale, down. Inhale, up one more time. Squeeze and hold it. And exhale, let it all go. You can remove that block back in. Let's go ahead and draw the knees up into the chest. Little rock side to side, massage that low back. And when you're ready, heels come back down. You're going to bring that block back into the thighs one more time. Going to inhale here. On the exhale, we're going to reach the fingertips towards the heels and start to draw the shoulders up off of the mat. So you're squeezing those low abdominals in. If you need a little bit more support on the back of the neck or head, just the fingertips right underneath the base of the skull can help. And you're just squeezing up, holding, breathing, and then lower yourself back down. Squeezing those thighs together will help engage those abdominals. Inhale here. Exhale, round up, reaching either fingertips towards heels, squeezing up, or having that support under the head. And back down. Let's do that one more time. Big breath in. On the exhale, round up, bringing those shoulders off the mat. Squeeze and hold it. And lowering down nice and easy. We'll remove the block. We're going to work our way up into a tabletop. So you can either just roll off to the side if you'd like, rolling up and down the length of the spine. crossing over ankles. I'm going to turn this away so you can see me a little bit better. You can have there a blanket across the knees and the parts. We have that little extra padding from the grass, so make yourself comfortable. Line those shoulders up over the wrists, tap the tops of the feet, wake them up. Flying up over the knees. And rocking through cat-cow, focus on that belly. So focus on that core. We're going to drop the belly down, tail comes up. Nice big breath in, gaze forward. On the exhale, push the floor away, pull the belly button towards the back of the spine, spread those shoulder blades apart. Roll through it, work with the rhythm of breath. Just flexing the spine, opposite direction. Adding on any other movement that might feel good, pausing where it feels good. Maybe looking over back towards the feet. A few more cycles here. Really connecting with that rhythm of breath, finding a little bit more space. Notice how the breath changes and we go through these different shapes. And when you're ready, we'll come back to center. All right, let's go ahead and step back with the left foot, tuck the toes under, press out through that heel and stretch out the calf. We'll go ahead and float that leg up. Then inhale here, options. We're just going to be doing some curls. So if you want a little more challenge, you can reach out through the opposite arm, otherwise hand down. Big inhale here. Lengthen the body. Exhale, push the floor away so you create space, bringing in that elbow to knee. And squeeze and hold. Take your time through this. Inhale, lengthen, push out through that heel, toes are down. Exhale, curl. Squeeze and hold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, curl in. Do one more time. Exhale, let it go. Back to center. Go wrists a little bit of a break. You need to flip them over. Fingertips back towards you. Stretch them out. All right, second side. Right foot back, tuck the toes, press out through that heel. All right, when you're ready, go ahead and float the leg back, coming directly out of that hip. If you like, adding the arm, find length, big breath in. Exhale, curl and round and squeeze. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, curl. Do one more. Squeeze and hold. And let it go. Stretch the wrist if you need to. Back to center. All right, from here, we're going to take the left leg back again. We're going to inhale here. This time we're going to squeeze and draw the knee in towards the outer elbow. Squeeze and hold that in. The side body obliques start to fire up. And then stick your leg out and then draw it all the way back. So we're just going to be rounding in, bringing that elbow or the knee to the elbow, taking the leg out and then bringing it back. So we're getting a nice hip stretch, working through that side body, holding where it feels good. Maybe none of it feels good. Yeah, one more time, big circle back. Go ahead and place it down. We're going to come into a modified side plank. Left hand towards the center. Best way to give yourself a little bit more support is to turn that knee back or turn the foot back so the knee is facing forward, and then begin to come into modified side plank, focusing on the left ribs, pulling them up away Get sinking into that shoulder. Maybe you want to float the right leg or pulse that a few times. Thinking about that entire cylinder of the core, not just the belly. One more breath here, guys. Exhale. Let it go. Bring everything back to the center. Bring everything back in alignment. And we're going to do that second cycle. Take a little break on the wrist if you need to. When you're ready, right leg back. Inhale here. Exhale, squeeze that knee in towards the outer elbow. Send the foot back. Nice big hip circle. Squeeze it in. Take a breath. Round it back. Do that one more time. Back to center. Bring it down. Right hand comes towards the center of the mat. Modified side plank, so coming onto the side of the foot and then sending that leg back, giving a little kickstand for support here. Make sure you're not dropping into that right shoulder. The left arm comes up, stacking up. Fire up the belly, maybe float the foot, pulse. Wherever you are, another full cycle of breath. And exhale, release, let that go. Back to the center. Walking fingertips forward. Tuck those toes under. Push back, first down dog in the morning. As always, take your time, pedal out through your dog, stretch out through the calves. Get those snack crackle pops out of the ankles. Spread the fingertips nice and wide and then roll the triceps in towards the ears so the elbow creases are facing forward. Inhale up onto the balls of the feet. Let the heels and tail come up. Big breath in. On that exhale, pull the heart space back towards the thighs. Lengthen out through the spine. Deep breath in. Exhaling, melting down through the heels a little bit further if you can. One more big breath in. On that exhale, take your time. Begin to walk the feet towards the hands. Take your time getting there. Inhale, flatten out the spine, thighs back, reach that crown forward. Flat tabletop back. Big breath in. And exhale, folding back down. Inhale, we're going to start to roll it up. We're going to sink the tail, squeeze the knees and thighs together, taking it into chair pose, belly engaged. Act like you're holding an imaginary ball there in the fingertips. Lift it up a little higher. Sink the tail a little bit more. Big breath in. One more breath in. On the exhale, reach it up. Gentle back bend. Your hips forward. Reach the fingertips back. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees a lot. Start rooting to rise. Draw the energy up. Sit back in your chair one more time. Fingertips out. Inhale, squeeze those thighs together. Feel the tops of the thighs turn on. All the way up. Gentle back bend here. And exhale. Palms to heart center. Close the eyes here for a moment. Let some of that energy settle into the body. Reconnect with the breath. If the eyes are closed, you can just sort of stir the torso a little bit, exploring the different corners of the feet, rocking back into the heels, into the toes, the sides of the feet. Feeling that strong connection to the core, the center line of the body. And like I said, not just the belly, but the side ribs, the low back. firm, strong, supported. The trunk of that tree is the key to its stability. All right, inhale, fingertips up. Exhale, all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Plant those hands, step it all the way back. Plank pose. You can modify by dropping knees down if you need to. Press up out of those shoulders. So there's no space in between your shoulder blades. Belly drawing up and in. Pressing out through the heels as you reach forward with the crown of the head. Nice deep breath into it. On the exhale, let's lower down our knees, untuck the toes. Start to lower the chest down. Keep those elbows pulled in and draw all the way down. Rock those hips side to side. Draw the toes back towards the back of the mat. Let's have a little baby cobra here. Start to bring the chest up. Palms are underneath the shoulders. Draw those elbows in. Feel that low back start to engage. Deep breath in. Exhale, crown the head down. Push yourself all the way back. Child's pose, just a mini child's pose here. Knees can be together here. Deep breath into the back. One more cycle. Bring your chest back forward, back down into the hips. Sliding forward into a sphinx pose. Elbows come underneath those shoulders. Rock those hips. Nice firm foundation with the pelvis here, the tops of the thighs. Those toes are reaching back. Legs are long. And then pulling your heart space through the shoulders just a little bit more. And that belly button is still working here. So pulling it up away so you're not just plopping down out of the shoulder. Deep breath in. On the exhale, begin to draw the gaze down and then lift the belly up just a little bit, maybe the thighs. Take whatever degree is comfortable for you. We're going to do that a few times, working with the breath. Inhale, gaze comes up. Exhale, gaze down and in. You just go down to the right underneath the face. If you want a little bit more, you're pulling those thighs or belly up off. Stay up and out of those shoulders so you're not dropping in too deep. We're kind of going back and forth between the abdominal muscles and those muscles of the lumbar spine. Now, cycle one more time. All right, let those elbows go, draw the palms underneath the shoulders, push yourself all the way back. Let's take a wide-legged child's pose here. So toes to touch. Rock those hips back towards the heel. Walk the fingertips forward and melt down through the heart. Nice big breath into the back, down into the hips. Soften the ribs, soften the lungs. Let them receive the breath. One more full cycle, cleansing breath. And when you're ready, bring yourself back up. Walk the fingertips forward, coming back to down dog. Hips up and back. Settle into your dog for a cycle of breath. And take that left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Press out through the heel. Nice big breath in. On the exhale, knee in towards nose. Work your way into a low lunge. So if you need to push that foot up forward, heel toe it up there, whatever you need to do. We're untucking the back toes. Blocks alongside the hips if you'd like. Dropping down to that right hip as you pull up through the torso, the chest. Driving down through the tail. And then feel that engagement crawl up to the ribs as you lift fingertips up. Nice and firm through that tree trunk. Strong torso. Deep breath in. Exhale. Fingertips down on the blocks or alongside. Pop the back knee up, coming into a high lunge. So come into a runner's lunge first. Get into that hip a little bit. Start to crawl that energy up through the body. Bend into that back knee and then press out through the heels. You draw the kneecap up, firm up that back leg, press and lunge. Crawl up through the side ribs. Torso, firm up the tree trunk. Belly's working here. Breath moving. Deep breath in. On the exhale, we're going to lean out over that front leg. Press out through the heel and reach those fingertips back. Up and off the belly off the thigh. Pressing into that big toe. Inhale, bring it back up. Gentle back bend here if you'd like to add on. Stay with the breath. Exhale, palms down to heart center. Down to the ground. Plank the hand. Step back into plank. We're going to take the side plank again, modified or not. So if you'd like modified, knee comes down, you can have that kickstand. Otherwise, stepping all the way back, stacking the feet up, really pulling those left ribs up away from the ground. Stacking shoulders, breathing, maybe floating the leg. One more breath, guys. Look down at the hand. Top arm comes down. Bring yourself back to plank. Push back, down, dog. Pause here for a cycle of breath. Right leg comes up and back. Press out through that heel. Exhale, knee to nose. Set yourself up, low lunge, step aside. Heel toe that foot forward, so we have that knee lined up over the ankle. Building that nice strong foundation, stretching down through left hip, pulling up through the front of the body. Crawl those arms up, that energy up the body, firming up the sides. Keep the breath. Inhale here. Exhale, fingertips come down alongside, blocks, down to the mat, pull that back knee up. Draw the energy up into the front leg, bend into the back knee, and then press out and firm it up again. Shoot those fingertips up. Nice firm torso, strong trunk of the tree. Inhale here. Exhale, lean forward with the crown. Roll the shoulders back, reach back with those fingertips. Stay with the breath. Inhale, bring you back up, nice and strong. Deep and a little back bend if you would like. One more breath. Exhale, fingertips down. Step forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, pull down. Inhale, bring you all the way up. A gentle back bend there, hips forward. And exhale, palms down to heart center. Close the eyes for a moment here in Tadasana, mountain pose. Maybe let the fingertips fall to the earth. Lifting the crown and heart, rooting through the tail, the heels, the toes. One more full cycle of breath here, nice and slow. Inhale up. Exhale down. We're going to come all the way down to the tail. So you can bend the knees, drop all the way down. If you need to just drop off to the side and come down, that's cool too. All right, we're going to work through a little Navasana, both toes. If you've never done Navasana with a blanket, it's kind of nice too. Just get a little extra support on that tail. Kind of work yourself back on that tail so the chest is nice and open. Bringing those thighs together, just like we were doing in that bridge pose. Start to flex the tops of the feet, pointing the toes down. Start to draw the knees up towards the chest. Belly engages here. This might be enough. You can have the toes touching. Start to lift up and out through the legs, maybe adding the arms alongside. Shaking's good, smiling is good. Play around here. Maybe you want to extend one leg out, press out through the heels. Maybe the other. Maybe both. Keep it going, heart lifted. Exhale, let it go. Right. If you have the blanket behind you, let that go. Roll the shoulders back. Fingertips come forward here. Letting the chest come forward. You're going to bring those hips up, coming into a reverse plank. If that's pinching on the shoulders or your shoulders are telling you don't do that, just be here, lifting the chest, opening a little bit of the back bend. Otherwise, lift that tail up, tabletop. Keep the breath going. And when you're ready, slowly lowering the tail down, bringing it back alongside the body. Feet come forward. Rock yourself back and forth. Get in front of that tailbone. Inhale to lift. Exhale, hinge and fold down, fold, fold. Nice little counter pose for that back. Nice deep breath in the back. You can have a little bend in the knees if you need it. Exhale, folding it a little deeper. All right, one more breath here. Slowly bring yourself up. Cross the legs or come off to the side. We're going to come right back into down. So, however you get there. All right, hopefully starting to feel a little bit looser, a little stronger in that core. Keep that breath going. Deep breath in. Nice, slow exhale out. All right, second time through, left leg comes up and back. Big breath. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, take it back. Exhale, curl it in. This time we're going to come right into high lunge. Work that foot up where you need to get it. Take your time. Building that foundation, maybe a little stronger than the first time. Pulling that back knee up and in, pressing out through the heel. Nice, strong foundation in that back leg. Inhale it up. Sink a little deeper. Inhale here. Exhale, we're coming back into that ski lunge. Fingertips shoot back, roll shoulders back. Inhale up, a little gentle back bend. Palm slide to heart center. All right, we're going to come into warrior three if you'd like. So bend into that front knee. Start to bring that back foot in a little bit. Start to shift your weight and pull up through the back heel. Blocks here, great idea. It's a little unstable. And have a good bend in that front knee. So don't lock it out. Makes that a lot harder to do. So you're looking to have that hip come right, or the leg come right out from the hip. With the hips rolling open, roll the right hip down so the toes are facing down, hips are squared. Stay with the breath. Inhale here. Exhale. Gently lower back down. Plant the hands, step back into plank. Pause here for a breath. Modify if you need it with the knees down. Inhale. Exhale, lower down knees, chest, chin, or full chaturanga. Back bend with choice. Cobra, Sphinx, up dog. Exhale, push back, down dog. Right. Second side, right leg up and back. Inhale here. Let's do one curl in, knee to nose. Send it back. Exhale, second time through, landing the foot. Flexed lunge. Take your time, build the foundation, nice and strong. Inhale deep. Exhale. Skiers lunge. Fingertips back, crown reaching forward. Nice strong core. Inhale up, a little back. Plank. Preparing for that front knee. Really shifting weight into that front big toe. You can drag that back foot in a little bit, bend into the knee and start to pull that back hip, pressing out through the heel. One side's always a little difficult, more difficult. Options with the palms at heart center, maybe reaching them forward. Airplane arms. You fall out of it, come back into it. One more big breath. When you're ready, you're going to step that left foot forward. Inhale, halfway. We're wiping that slate clean. Big breath in. Exhale, forward. Inhale all the way up. And exhale. Palms back to the heart. Let that heartbeat settle into the chest, that energy bouncing around, settle into the corners of the body you don't normally pay attention to. That breath to swirl around the heart, into the back, down into the kidneys, cleansing, revitalizing. Take your time, one more full cycle of breath. Nice, slow exhale out. Softly blink the eyes open. Let it go. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good? Are we hot? You need a fan? Are we okay? Good?
A little warm.
Yeah, it's a little, we're building some heat. That's good. There we go. Thank you, John. All right, so we've been working on that core, all that different engagement, keeping that breath moving. Let's work through a little bit of balance here. We'll shift our weight over to the right or left leg for you guys. If you like, you can also come towards the wall. We were doing a lot of wall stuff last week, so we're going to work through some balancing. If you'd like to be next to that wall, back against the wall, really nice prop there. All right, so shift that weight in, bend the knee. Start to come up in that little kickstand, so toe can be down, knees bent. And then just start pressing into the palms and draw that knee up towards the chest. Think of that trunk of the tree, nice and strong. The low back, the side ribs, not just the belly working. This might be it for you. Maybe extending out through the heel, toes coming up to the sky. Chest open. Gently lower it down. Let it go, shake it out. Second side. Place that big toe down, spread the toes nice and wide so you have a nice firm foundation, the roots there. Begin to draw up into that kickstand, squeeze the knee up and in. A little press of those palms together. Towards the breath. Maybe pressing out through the heel. Chest lifts. Come out of it. You fall out of it, come back into it. Nice and easy. Lower it down. Shake it out. All right. Second time through, let's come into tree pose, whatever version of tree pose. And tree pose could be right here for you, right? So the only difference is we're going to roll that hip open first. Actually, roll the hip open first. Like to have that heel connected to the inner leg. Maybe just start to bring it up into the ankle or calf. Maybe you want to bring it up a little higher, help it out a little bit. Pressing that heel into the thigh and checking with that trunk, right? Not just the belly. Squeezing the low back a little bit in. Draw firm up through the trunk, out through your branches. It's a bit gentle. The gaze, if you bring it up, is definitely going to challenge that. See what's going on with those low ribs. They're sort of popping open, so just a little squeezing down and in, firming up the trunk. One more breath. Gently starting to come out, lower the branches down. Extend the leg out, face it down, shake it out. Wonderful. All right, second side. Spread the toes nice and wide. Start to open up through the hip. Knee comes out. Come into that little kickstand. And then take whatever version of tree is good for you. And not just the heel to the calf. Definitely don't want to be on the knee. So either below or above it. Take your time. Set your drishti, your gaze is soft. And when you're ready, fingertips coming up, firming up those side walls. That side is always a little more of a challenge. Walls there for support. One more breath then. And when you're ready, coming out of it as gracefully as you can, and let it go. Shake it all out. All right. Let's go wide-legged stance here. Toes are coming in, heels out. Gonna do a little quick inversion here as we start to slow everything down. So you can have those blocks underneath the face. Flatted support. Hips come forward, come into a nice starfish pose. Really opening up the chest and heart. Hips come slightly forward. Back bend a little bit if you like. Big breath in here. On the exhale, hands to hips. Pull the hips back as you start to reach forward with the crown. And when you get about halfway, pull the hips back and reach forward even a little bit more. Big breath in. And then exhale, hinge and lower it down. You can have a little soft bend in the knees if you need to. And then options there with the fingertips. You can bring them back behind the calves. You can walk them back through the leg. You can have forearms on blocks. Whatever shape feels good, where you can just start to find a little stillness. And just let the crown of the head just be heavy here. Release any tension you're holding in the neck or the throat. Shake the head yes and no. Nice big cleansing breath into the back, down into the kidney. Soften the knees if you need to. Slowing down that central nervous system.
We'll be here for about another 30 seconds. As we begin to slow everything down, starting to lengthen out that flow of breath, maybe to an inhale to a count of 5 and an exhale to a count of 6 or 7. One more full cycle of breath here. Let it all go. Start to heel toe the feet back in towards each other a little bit. Turn back towards the top of the mat. You guys are already at the top of the mat. Step yourself back and then just lower yourself all the way down to the belly. A little bit more low back work here. Rock those hips side to side. Drawing those toes back. Thighs are nice and long. And then just making a little pillow here, stacking one hand on top of the other, turn one cheek to one side. And just be here with your breath for a few cycles. Let the rib cage go soft against the mat. Feel that rise and fall of your back. Feel the breath go into the heart. And just soften and surrender into the mat on that exhale. Then crown the head back to center. And the palms back, or the hands back alongside the thighs. So reaching those fingertips back towards the heel. You're going to roll those shoulders up and back and reach back towards the heels as you start to lift up through the chest. So coming into a locust pose. Squeeze those thighs together like you have a block in between. If you'd like, maybe those toes float up. Opening the chest, lifting up, feeling that low back engage in that breath. Cleansing. Squeeze and hold. Keep breathing. Exhale, gently release. Palms back to center. And then just take the gaze to the opposite side of the water. Soften and surrender for a few breaths. Just starting to slow everything down. Turn the head back to center. And do that one more time. And roll the shoulders back as you find space in the front of the body. Maybe floating toes up, squeezing those thighs together. You'd like to add a little bit more on, maybe fingertips come out, air plank, and then turn those palms so the fingertips face forward. Maybe bring it up a little bit more. So with the breath. Exhale, let it go. Palms underneath the shoulder. Gently push yourself up. Coming into a small child's pose. So those knees are going to be together. Slide those palms back. Maybe grabbing a hold of the heels. A nice counter posture for those back bends. Deep breath in. Nice slow exhale out. Check. One more breath here. Exhale, let it go. Slowly bring yourself up. Just roll over off to one hip. Bring the feet back around towards the front.
Wonderful. All right, feet out in front of us. We're gonna go knees kind of wide here. Feet a little bit wider than shoulders. And then roll those shoulders back, coming onto the heels of the hands. Chest forward, open the chest here. Lift the hips up and maybe bring the hips a little bit more forward. So we just want to have some space here for the hips. So if that's not working for you, you need to readjust the ratio of pelvis to your feet. Please do so. And we're just going to slowly rock, nice and easy, side to side. When you get to one side, roll that top hip a little bit. And then over to the other direction. Turn and roll that top hip. And let's do that a few more times. Now let's come over to the left side. Before you start to twist, lift up in the torso. So nice lift, and then slowly starting to twist from the base of the torso or the spine up into the shoulders. Letting the gaze go around towards the left shoulder. Nice deep breath in. And then keep that twist of the torso, and we're just going to take the gaze to the opposite shoulder. So big breath in, stay twisted in the torso, and then exhale, bring that chin to the opposite shoulder. Notice how that changes the flow of breath, sensations in the core. One more breath there. Release the head. Start to unwind yourself with the shoulders down into the spine. And the knees up and over. Just take your time here. Before you start to twist, press up. Find length in the torso. And then starting to twist base of the spine into the shoulders. Gaze goes last, looking over that right shoulder. Be here for a cycle or two of breath. Switch that gaze. Inhale first, find length. Exhale, looking back over the left. One more breath here.
Oh, such a pretty mermaid.
And exhale, start to unwind. Back to center. All right. Let's go ahead and come back off the tail. So get in front of those hip bones again. Bring heels into one another. Coming to Tabletop Konasana. So you can pull those heels into the pelvis as much as is comfortable for you. And then go ahead and grab for ankles or grab for toes. And then roll the chest open. Pelvis is coming forward a little bit more. And then just let those inner thighs soften. As you begin to slow everything down and lengthen out that breath, just drawing that breath down into your innermost core, into that pelvic bowl. So let the quick breath grow and find space. Let's do one more full cycle here. Ready? Go ahead and bring the palms at the outer knees. Open up. Legs come forward. Just take it back onto the back. All right, let's take a moment here to get your foundation. Knees up into the chest, no rock on that lower back. Left heel comes down, still pulled in towards the glute. Right ankle across the knee, coming into reverse pigeon. And slide and bring the hands through, threading the needle. Reaching around, grabbing below the knee, the shin, whatever you get a hold of. And then take your time here. So
On the inhale, just let everything soften. And then on that exhale, begin to draw that left knee in towards the ribs a little deeper, feeling that stretch on that outer right hip. Tailbone likes to sort of pop up. So as you pull the tailbone down and pull the knee in, it's going to intensify that stretch. Deep breath into that hip. Left heel comes down. We're going to bump the hips over to the right side a little bit. Palms or arms can be out to a T or cactus the arms. And then you're just going to let that right foot fall to the earth, coming into a twist. If you like, you can extend that right leg out. It's going to intensify a little bit more by pressing out through the heel. Otherwise, you can have the knee bent. So find yourself in a comfortable position, twisting through that low spine. If you like a little bit more, inhale here, and gaze goes over that right side. Nice deep breath in. Long exhale, maybe the exhale a second or two longer than the inhale. Mind begins to drift about what you need to do after practice. Just return to that breath. Don't gyp yourself a few final moments. It's the best part. Doing all that work. All right, one more cycle wherever you are. Start to unwind yourself, starting from the top down. So if your gaze is to the side, bring it back to center. Hips come back, recenter yourself on the mat. Best way to do that is just bring knees into chest, rock back and forth on that spine. All right, second side, heels down, knees are bent. We'll take that left ankle across the thigh, or top of the thigh. Thread the needle through. Tailbone's probably popping up, so draw that down and then begin to squeeze and pull that knee in towards the ribs. Left hip, feeling that stretch. One more long cycle breath. The bottom of those exhales, squeezing those low ribs down and in just a little bit more, kind of wringing out that spine, any stale, stagnant breath or energy you're holding on to. And that right foot back down. Arms come out to a T or cactus. Bump those hips over to the left side. And then let that left foot fall over to the right. Option there to keep the knee bent or extend out through the leg and intensify that stretch a little bit more. You'll also use that right hand to cross the left thigh, the outer edge of that, just twisting a little deeper. And then adding that gaze opposite of the twist. Keeping those shoulders firm against the mat as much as you can. One more breath here. Nice and slow. And when we're ready, unwinding from top down, bring yourself back into center. If there's anything else that calls to your practice that you'd like to take before Shavasana, go ahead and take it. If you'd like to do a Balasana, happy baby. If you'd like to take a plow pose or shoulder stand, anything else in your practice that you might need, before you can settle in and start to find some stillness. Blanket over you if you'd like. Anyone that would like a bolster underneath the knees, just give me a hand up. I'd be happy to grab it for you. Otherwise, just begin to find some stillness here. Some of the hardest technique in yoga. Just let those ankles open up a little bit more. The toes fall out to the sides. Let that opening just travel up into the legs and the pelvis and the hips. If you have any grip in the belly, just let that go. Let it be soft. Relax the heart space, the clavicles, the throat. All the way up into the jaw, into the eye sockets. And as you find stillness here, just being with a quiet breath, just be here to observe and enjoy the benefits of our practice. A few final moments. Allow me to call you back when it's time. All right, yogis, begin to slowly deepen that breath. And welcome the sensation back into the body. Gentle wiggle of fingers and toes. Raise the eyebrows, moisten the lips. Circle the wrists, ankles. If you'd like to take a full body stretch, slide the ankles towards each other, flex and point the feet, and shoot those fingertips back up over the head. You can hook your thumbs together, spread the fingertips nice and wide. Nice extension, full lengthening of the body. A nice big cleansing breath into the chest, the belly, the back. And on that exhale, gently gather the knees up into the chest. Give yourself one final little squeeze and bring the nose up into the knees. Spread those shoulder blades apart. And take your time rocking off to one side. You can pause there with a hand on the earth if you like in an embryo pose. And then keep your gaze soft or the eyes closed, bringing yourself up into Sukhasana, easy seated posture. Take a moment, roll the shoulders back, let the palms be face up on the thighs, pull the shoulders back and the elbows back a little bit, open that chest. Little draw back of the chin. Feel that head line up over the heart and the heart over the hips. Feel that root in your tail and that lift in your crown. All these opposing forces at work as that breath unites them all. with some lightness in your heart space, some quiet in your mind. We'll take this feeling of gratitude, compassion out into the world, off the mat. Share it with others, tap into it whenever you need it. To inhale those fingertips up to touch. Big inhale here, and on that exhale, draw that energy down into the heart space. Gaze down and in. And take a moment here to thank yourself. Knowing you did the best thing you could for yourself today. And truly an honor for me to guide you through your practice. Y'all have a wonderful day. Namaste. Namaste. And acknowledge your fellow yogis. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for joining on Zoom.